Yo, what's happening, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be one of my first streams for Bitcoinsensus, so just bear with me. I will be doing live trading probably once a week, maybe twice a week on this channel. So this is going to be a new channel. I know someone was on here like a year ago or something, but yeah, I'm really excited to get going on this channel. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy this content, make sure you do like the video, and also we do have the links in the description. So if you do want to join the trading community, where we obviously post all these setups, like yesterday we had a Solana long over here, and then also today we're looking at some other setups as well. So make sure you guys do join the links in the description, and yeah, we'll get going. I'm gonna wait like 2 more minutes to see if a few more people join, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing well today. The market's absolutely ripping, so it's going to be exciting to see what we can get today. I think we should be able to get a couple setups today. So yeah, let's see what we're looking at. I'm just going to wait for a few more people here. But yeah, all right, let's get started. Okay, so basically what's happening with the market? Why are we pumping like this? I mean, that's a great question. So we're going to dig deeper into why we're pumping. And obviously we did have FOMC last night, and there was like rumors about Jerome Powell being fired and stuff like that. So I think that's why we obviously got a massive pump. You can see across the board, like the altcoins are absolutely ripping. So yeah, I will go over on. I've got a lot of altcoin setups today that I'm ready to share for you guys as well. So I think we're gonna get straight into it. But noticeably, Pengu's been doing well recently. Virtual as well, and then also Tower. I wanna look at Tower because Tower hasn't really moved. And then INJ is my next pick as well, because INJ is also just chilling at a resistance. We have to break out. So there are a couple coins that I am looking at for potential moves to upside. So yeah, let's get straight into it, and let's start going over some coins. All right, so yeah, so the community and I, we did actually just take a Bitcoin long to the upside, and the reason why we did take this, I'll show you. Do apologize for the delay here. I think I just have to refresh the charts. There we go. Don't know what that was about. Just let it load. Yeah, so basically a bit of a breakout on like a 5-minute time frame. So this is more of a scalp position, right? Potentially to take out these highs. So you can see how price was pretty much just consolidating in this kind of wedge formation. We got a little breakout retest, and that's your entry stop loss below the lows. TPs like at these highs over here. So Bitcoin does look like it wants to go higher today, which means altcoins will probably move as well. I mean, that's on the 5-minute, but if you look at the daily, there is a potential that this could roll over here, right? We literally tapped these highs perfectly, right, to the dollar. Let's actually have a look at that. So yeah, we actually broke the highs, and then you can see as we literally broke it by a few dollars. As we broke it, we started to come down again. So very, very interesting to see what Bitcoin's doing here. I do think that we can reclaim these highs today, which is why we did take a short-term scalp on Bitcoin to the upside. So yeah, honestly, right now, do you think that we can potentially reclaim these highs? I am looking for a bit of a retracement though, because you know this move is very explosive. But the thing is, you know, we haven't really had this type of move in a while, right? Do you guys remember the last 2 weeks have been so choppy? It's actually been absolutely crazy. Like, it's been super hard to trade with this chop, but like now this week we are getting quite a nice move. So I do think that you know, we're gonna see more of a continuation today. So I'm gonna go over a few coins that I'm looking at. So the first coin, obviously XRP. This is my favorite token. I know a lot of people hate XRP, but we actually caught this in the community as well on XRP. I mean, it was a beautiful, pretty simple setup, right? We got a daily breakout of this massive range, right? So essentially, guys, XRP was trading in a range of 220 days, right? So I was saying, okay, well, once we actually break out of this range, we are gonna moon. You know what I mean? Because when XRP, the last time XRP ranged like this, even here, right? This whole little channel over here for XRP, right over there. It's the same thing. XRP does the same exact thing every single cycle, right? Look how long this was, right? So this was over like 2 years, well, just under 2 years, but 500 days, guys, XRP, and then we had a massive move, right? And then let's have a look over here. This was also, this you could call this the move as well here. So what I would say is, you know, another 114 days on that breakout, right? So XRP does this consecutively over throughout history, right? So this was quite a basic play in terms of longs. You know, I got in with a 5x and a 30x. So I closed like some of my 30x, and then my 5x I'll leave running until these higher targets, right? Because it's going to be a swing trade, right? So I don't expect to close this trade anytime soon. Yeah, so very, very interesting to see what happening here with the XRP. I honestly think that we can definitely tap potentially 2.65, maybe today even. I mean, it's just looking super bullish, right? I mean, how far is that? 8%. I mean, we could pump another 8 to 9% today, potentially. You never know, right? What is today? Thursday. Yeah, I don't think there's any news today. Let's actually have a look at that. Oh, we have unemployment claims at 2:30 p.m., which is right, but yeah. All right, let's get back to the charts. Right now, yeah, so I'm just looking at XRP. Another setup that I'm looking at is INJ, right? So INJ, what I was saying in the beginning, INJ hasn't really moved, right? So most coins got that massive pump yesterday, but INJ literally just didn't really move, right? So if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that INJ is obviously just still trading below these key levels, right? You can see that we've been making lower highs, right? You know, this is even lower highs here. These are like equal highs. But then if you can check, we've been making higher lows right now, right? So this is starting to converge, and we're getting close to the apex, right? So INJ is almost ready for quite a big move, which I will be taking in the Discord community and the Telegram, right? So you guys must make sure to join before it's too late, because these types of trades, you know, with total 3 looking absolutely so bullish here, you know, things can happen super quickly. You know what I mean? So you don't want to miss out on that. So INJ, what I want to see is essentially, let's actually just remove all these drawings here. What I want to see is, I want to see price get above 11.36. Okay, so basically I want to see at the 4-hour time frame get above this level, right? Because this is a 4-hour downtrend, right? So we have price getting rejected here multiple times. We have multiple touches on this trend. So what you need to see is, you need to see price start getting back above 11.36. Okay, so 11.36 is pretty much just your resistance slash support from here, right? I mean, if you drag this back in history, right? I mean, you can see how many times price has tapped this level. So what do we know? What's the number one rule about trading, right? The first rule that you learn in trading is that support can potentially get flipped into resistance, or resistance gets flipped into support, right? So you can see, if we do take out this resistance now, then we flip into support, and then we look for continuation, right? Because we will be breaking this massive downtrend. And the reason why this is looking really good for me is because we do have price creating higher lows right now. So whenever we do see this with lower highs, you want to wait for a breakout. It could either be to the downside or the upside. But I mean, with this type of structure, I would take a guess that it's going to be to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for INJ. Definitely a coin that's on my radar. Another coin that's on my radar is Pepe, right? So yeah, the thing is, I've been calling for this breakout for the last couple of days. I did buy a lot of spots on Pepe, like anticipating the breakout like the last couple of days. But you know, we just got that move right now. We haven't created a bottom wick. You know, so I'm a little bit skeptical to jump into longs right now. Although we might miss a few coins, but Pepe, what I need to see is, I want to see price come and create this bottom wick on the daily time frame, right? Because you can see, if you look at the daily time frame, we have created a bottom wick, but we haven't retested this level, and I want to see price come back down, retest this level, potentially grab some more liquidity before we go higher, right? So the thing is, when I look for trades that are going to the upside, let's just say I'm looking for longs, right? I want to see the next candle create a bottom wick, which means grabbing liquidity in order to go higher, right? So same thing with shorts. If we do see like a bearish closure, I want to see a top wick getting formed, and then we look for sells when we flip bearish. So I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Pepe right now. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can get a move to the upside. but I want to see a potential retest of around about 0.001064. So this on the 4 hour time frame, you can pretty much similar setup to INJ. It's just all about being patient, right? And that's a problem with most traders. They just can't wait for these setups, right? You know, you like potentially I could get it now, but you know, there's not much happening here. You know what I mean? So what I'd watch for is potential breaking below this trend, and then, you know, wait for something like this, come down, and then you wait for a break of like a potential high over here. We're creating higher highs over here, and then we look for the longs over here. All right, does that make sense? So that's what I'm looking at for Pepe. Okay, so I'm not going to jump in now. For me, it doesn't make sense to jump into a long right now for Pepe. But yeah, like I said, I mean, in this market, we could just see a massive, like, you know what I mean, it could just pump super hard from current price. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today, because this could be like that parabolic phase for crypto right now, right? A lot of people have been waiting for it, and I know crypto Twitter and like all the KOLs, influencers are calling for higher prices on altcoins, but the thing is, you know, we can get these retracements because Bitcoin is near all-time high. Like I said, let's go back to Bitcoin. We are in a long year for Bitcoin as well, a small scalp. So like what I'm expecting for Bitcoin is, you know, potentially take out these highs, potentially take out 112. You know, this is what was posted in the community. This is also like a setup that I would have jumped into because of the breakout on the 5 minute. But yeah, I just for altcoins, I need to wait for a bit of a retracement before jumping in, because we super overextended, right? If we have a look at total 3, for example, right? What is total 3? I know a lot of people will be asking that, and total 3 is just the crypto market cap of all the altcoins except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so if you look at the daily time frame, I've been waiting so long for this, but anyway, we did get that daily close above this 857 level, which is absolutely beautiful, right? And it's looking like we're just going to go higher from here as well. But the problem is, I do want to see a retest of this level. I do want to see price come down. You know, like spot positions now are cool, right? Because, you know, with spots, you have a lot of leeway. But in terms of leverage trading, which is what we do in the community, you have to be careful, right? Because the thing is, when you're entering at like these zones, your stop loss will be higher, right? Will be a lot, like your risk will be a lot more, right? So like what I like to do is you know, even if I'm bullish on the day, I'll still wait for these retracements, because price needs to grab liquidity in order to go higher, right? Price won't just keep pumping. You know, that's just not how price action works, right? It's a game between buyers and sellers. So there needs to be like accumulation, distribution, and then that move, right? So that's what I'm looking at for total 3. I do want to see a bit of a retracement. Yeah, that would be great. Like, I mean, if we don't get that, then, you know, it's very possible, because altcoin season is potentially pretty much, I mean, it could be now, right? If this is not a fake out, but we shall see. I want to see price at least come back down here, and that would give us our entry for Pepe as well. It doesn't even have to come down that much, because Pepe is super close to our support as well. So yeah, let me just let it load. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, so that's what I'm waiting for. Those are the 2 coins that I've kind of been waiting for today. We're gonna go over a lot of other coins. If you guys do have like any suggestions, you guys can put some comments in the chat, and then we can definitely go over what you guys are looking at. But yeah, basically what I'm looking at for now is potentially get a retracement into the zone, and then we look for a bullish continuation to the upside, right? So it's a bit of a waiting game right now. That's how I like to trade. Rather go for higher probable setups than, you know, just taking a trade based on you know, it's looking bullish. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people lose that touch. SPX also looking so bullish. Like this was the setup that I was looking at like the other day. I didn't actually take this trade, but this was absolutely beautiful, right? We got the breakout, and then we retraced into this gap, and then we started pushing higher. And right now, I mean, it's just looking like it just wants to continue, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Altcoin season. If this is altcoin season right now, then honestly, things could just go parabolic, right? I think a lot of people are calling for that, but you know what's gonna happen? You know what I think is gonna happen? I think we're gonna see a massive like top wick. Bitcoin breaks all-time high, O's are super bullish, and then price actually comes back down, and then it starts pumping again. So I think there's gonna be quite a big liquidation events gonna happen soon. So let's actually have a look at the heat map on Bitcoin to see where we can go today. So the heat map basically just shows you like key levels, and you can see most liquidity is actually below us. So that's interesting. That's very interesting, because the thing is, if most liquidity is below us and we do get a pump, there is a high chance that price actually comes down and grabs its liquidity, right? So that is what I would be waiting for, right? For me to like get in along right now, we are long Bitcoin, but we're just longing to the highs. But the thing is, you don't want to be stuck in a long around all-time high. Although like you can break highs, but there's just not that much liquidity to the upside, which is definitely something to note, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. Like, if we can get a push to all-time high, then I do see a retracement back down to like 110, potentially even the 108, 109 levels. So yeah, I will keep an eye out for that as well. So we'll see if we do obviously get that push. Okay. So yeah. So what I suggest, like, if you guys are new to trading and you guys are wondering, like, what's happening with the market, we do have that Discord community with Andy and Devolt. They provide a lot of insights on their strategy and all of that. So you guys must join that. And then I post like altcoin setups there as well for like new people that want to join, and it's quite easy to it's not hard to go over. So yeah, so this was SPX. But yeah, I'm expecting a bit of a retracement here. I don't think it's. Let's have a look here. What else can we look at? You know what's been pumping quite hard actually recently, which is Kronos. I think this is a crypto.com's coin, right? Just gonna reload this page, but yeah, this has been pumping super hard. Have a look at this. Sorry, it's the wrong token. Yeah. So if we look at this, so I was actually looking at this yesterday. So like, honestly, right now, if we look at the chart, look at that move. I don't know what this was from. There was obviously some news that came out, but we've inverted this gap over here. So this is something to watch out for, right? So can you see how this was bearish market structure, right? So how do you know if it's bearish market structure? You can see that we did break trend, but what is easy to note is that when you start breaking previous highs, right? So you have lower highs, right? So lower highs, and then when you start breaking previous lower highs, and then you're respecting those highs, there is a probability that price is most likely just gonna continue higher, right? There is a high probability, and there's also a fair value gap, which basically means, so this is a bearish gap, and essentially what fair value gaps are, they're just orders that people that have set like sell orders or like buy limit orders in these zones that haven't been filled, right? So when we do take out like these bearish gaps, we do see quite a big pump, and that's exactly what happened here. So for Kronos, I mean, the daily time frame is kind of looking like it wants to take out these highs, right? So if we look at this on the daily, we can see, okay, well, if we want to take out the highs, then what can we do to capitalize on that, right? So you should be asking yourself all these questions when you're looking to trade, right? So if we do look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see, okay, well, price is kind of forming a bit of a triangle pattern over here. If we look, because I can just tell on the 4-hour when we go down to the lower time frame. So like the 1-hour time frame, we can see, okay, well, Kronos is looking absolutely beautiful here. Have have a look at this, right? I mean, this is a textbook, pretty much symmetrical triangle setup, right? This is, yeah, I mean, this is what I'd wait for here. Let's have a look at the 15 to see if these lines match up. You know, we could even take this on the 15. I'll probably take on the 1 hour though, because the thing is, we would need the 1 hour close. It just makes more sense to take it off this level here. Yeah, so I mean, for me, this is a really basic setup. This is what I would be trading today. Basically, we know that we bullish on the daily. We know that we inverted that gap that we spoke about. We know that the 1 hour time frame is forming a bit of a flag, right? I mean, if this plays out, like this could moon super hard, right? So I'm definitely gonna play this breakout today for Kronos, right? But I think a lot of people get that misconception, right? You know, if I'm looking for longs, a lot of people, they would ask me, they would be like, why don't you just take the long right now, right? Well, the problem is taking the long right now, we are at a super like strong resistance right now. And the problem is we could easily come back down and, you know, come a little bit low and then start moving higher, right? Just because I'm bullish it doesn't mean that we can't come down. And that is why I do wait for the candles to close. And I think that's super important, because if we don't wait for these 1 hour or these 4 hour candles to close, then it's just going to be Wicks City, right? So like basically how I like to look at it is like Wicks tell a story, but candles give you like the confirmation, right? So Wicks are telling you, okay, well, you know, we can come down, but if like think about it, right? Think about it. So price is moving like this, boom, 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 right? And then what actually happens? We break these lows, we create a bottom wick, but then we end up actually closing bullish. What does that mean? Well, it means that, okay, well, we've grabbed liquidity, you know, we've taken out all these orders over here, and now we can potentially start reclaiming these highs, right? So that is what I like to look for. Like if I look for longs, I want to see like a bottom wick being created first. You know what I mean? So same thing with shorts. I want to see a top wick getting created as well. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for the bullish continuation to the upside. All right. So this is Kronos crypto.com coin. Definitely a token I'm watching out for. Yeah. So just be careful with the market. All right. Another token, guys. We got into a long position for Ethereum. I mean, this thing absolutely ripped, but it looks like it wants to take out potential highs today, right? So if we do look at, let's actually have a look at Ethereum here. I'm actually going to remove all the drawings here because our setup's already played out. But do you guys remember when price was just chopping around here for a couple of weeks? I mean, that was insane, right? So what I'm looking at now is, okay, you know, ETH is coming. Let's actually draw the fixed range volume profile from this pump to here and see where the, all right. So we have the value area high sitting at around about 3,424. We have the point of control sitting at, you know, 2,581, and then we have the value area low sitting at 2,181, right? So we have, these are like the, I mean, I don't just trade volume profile, but volume profile just gives you like potentiality of where price can go, right? So closing, like we do need to see the weekly candle close above here, because you can see the last couple of weeks we haven't been able to close above the point of control. So this is why, you know, these levels are actually quite valuable, right? Because, you know, this I wouldn't agree to say this, but this can still actually close back below this range. Technically it can, because if you look at you know, the past couple of weeks, price has been trading literally below this point of control, right? So because right now price is looking bullish, there's still an opportunity for price to actually close bearish. There's still 3 days, right? I mean, the week's not over, but I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but you have to keep that in the back of your mind. And then if you look at the daily time frame, you can see that we are attacking these highs over here. We do have this massive fair value gap sitting right over here. So I don't trade just like fair value. I like to look at fair value gaps in terms of like price getting. You can see how like it respects these levels. It's actually crazy. But I won't just trade like fair value gaps. I do like to see potential for price to retrace. Okay, so if we want to look for long, say for Ethereum, I want to be looking to long into this $3,000 mark, right? Because that is going to be where a lot of people are, having their stop losses above these highs, and then we could even potentially take out these highs today. So on the daily time frame for ETH, I do think that we could even come down a little bit, retrace, but we did actually invert this level here. So I do want to keep that in mind. I'm just going to draw that in just so we have that there, and I'll keep it a little bit different color here. We're going to make that a little bit lower there. There we go. So let's have a look at the 4-hour time frame. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that there is a possibility of us actually coming back down. What I would look for is this level here, right? So this is where I'd be looking to take a long for Ethereum, say, right? Because we broke. So think about this, right? If you want to look at market structure, so I do trade market structure, and essentially, do you guys remember when ETH was trading like this? ETH was pretty much just going sideways in this channel, right? Do you guys remember? It was like literally last week. It was just going sideways in this channel. So what needs to happen in order for Ethereum to be bullish? You have to ask yourself these questions, right? What needs to happen? Well, we need to break this previous high. So we did actually break that high. So this was the first indication that Ethereum could potentially pump, right? So we broke this previous high right over here, right? Broke it. Then you look for retracements, longs into this zone. Okay, so this is where you would look to enter for a potential. Looks like I'm frozen, yeah. Sorry, I did freeze there for some reason. So this is what I'd look for, right? So I'll go over that again because I did lose connection for a little bit. But essentially, you wait for previous highs to get broken, and then, so this was the break, and then what you want to look for is potential for retracements into this zone. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum today, in terms of like market structure, right? So if we do look at current price action, I'm looking for the exact same thing. I want to see price get into this fair value gap, and then we start forming like higher highs over here, and then you wait for that breakout over there, right? That's kind of what I'll be looking, and you want to be targeting those highs into this gap around about here. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense for you guys, right? So yeah, right now, everything is just so bullish, like. But the problem is, like, when everything's so bullish like this, that's a massive problem, right? Because everyone's calling for, Ethereum 3,000, Ethereum 4,000 now. It just brings me back to, everyone just not knowing what's happening, right? And it's just retail just getting excited, and retail is going to get absolutely rinsed, right? The problem is with Twitter and YouTube sometimes is, it gives you that false hope, especially if you don't really know much about crypto. It gives you that false hope that, we're just going to go up. No one thinks that price can retrace, right? And it definitely can. Price does not go up in one straight line. So this is what I'm waiting for ETH. I want to see price get back into my zone here. If we look at the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we've created a massive top wick right now. I think, looking at current price action right now, I want to see price do something like this. Wait for a breakout, look for the long on the breakout, and this would be your entry. All right. So, and then your stop loss would be below this gap over here. Take profit would be, TP1 would be like 2921, and then you're looking at like 3K with anywhere within this gap here. You don't really know the exact target, but that's what I would be looking at for Ethereum right now. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, nothing is guaranteed, but if we do get that retracement today, then obviously it would be great to jump into those longs, because we are obviously bullish on Ethereum right now. All right, does that make sense? If you guys are just joining in here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna be going live here every week, maybe twice a week, depending if you guys do like it. And I do live trading. So basically, what I mean by live trading is I'll literally scalp live, right? So I normally stream London session, which is literally like now. This is London Open pretty much. So I do like to stream London session because that is like that's my bread and butter. I've always traded London session, even when I was doing forex back in the day. It was just London, right? Because that's where I've learned. I do trade New York sometimes, but London for me sets up the day, sets up the tone, right? So this is what I wait for Ethereum. If you guys did just join, we did go over some other coins that I'm waiting for, but I want to look at something else. Yeah, I want to look at some other coins. Yeah. If you guys do have any suggestions, you can put some in the comments, and then we can jump over some of your coins. But yeah, for me, what else was it? It was Ondo. Yeah, Ondo rips, right? So this was that move. Like, I was actually waiting for it, right? So have a look at Ondo, right? So Ondo literally was trading below key levels, and then I was waiting for price to break above 0.8041, literally right over here, right? And then yesterday, obviously, we had that massive pump, but like we got to break above this level, okay? And now we're coming into quite a key level here. So if Ondo somehow retraces into this gap, then I would be looking for the long, okay? So like, you kind of have to be patient now, because the problem is, if you guys didn't get long yesterday, longing right now altcoins is a little bit sketchy. Like, I'll be honest, because when Bitcoin's at all-time high, USDT dominance does look bearish. A lot of people are super bullish on pretty much every platform now. That's gonna keep you worrying, right? It's gonna keep you, because the problem is, like, we do need to get those retracements, which is kind of why I'm kind of taking it chilled today, in terms of I'm letting the setups come to me, right? And that's what you're meant to be doing, right? If you're trading, you should have your plan, right? You have your plan throughout the day. You set it up in the morning. Like, we've set up our plan, we've got our setups that we're waiting for today, and if the price doesn't hit our setups, then you can't take the trade, right? So don't force something when it's not there, even though you're like so bullish, right? If you're so bullish, buy some spots. Don't jump into a futures trade. You know what I mean? Spots, you have so much more leeway, right? I've been in drawdown on my spot bag for like over a year now, and I'm not worried at all. But on futures, you don't want to be in drawdown on futures. You know what I mean? For futures, you either want to hit stop loss straight away, or you want to hit your TPs, right? But for spot, I mean, we all know crypto is going to be here forever. I mean, Emirates actually announced, I think yesterday or last night, Emirates announced that you can potentially buy flights with crypto, which is kind of insane. So Emirates is pretty much doing the most. But it just shows you the adoption right now. It's actually crazy. It's actually insane. But yeah, if you guys did just join now, this is the setup that I'm waiting for the day. INJ longs, definitely a key level. We can't long right now, we're at resistance, but so we do need to wait for price to break out of this resistance. Once we break out, then we look for the longs, okay? So it's all about being patient right now. Don't just jump into a setup for the sake of jumping into a setup, right? I know a lot of people have impatience. I mean, I'm the most impatient person out there, right? If you guys know me personally, you'll know that like I'm very like ADHD in terms of like everything I do. But in terms of trading, like, I'm like the most patient person. So it's really strange how that actually works. But yeah, patience for you. Just wait for this to happen. We will be taking this in the Discord community. You guys must come join. It's cool, because we literally yesterday we took some longs on Solana. A beautiful trade, yeah. It hit all the TPs within like an hour. So yeah, so what I would say like long Solana now, TP1, TP2, TP3, and then you put your stop loss, and then I'll keep you guys updated on the trade as well, just so you guys are aware. So if you guys want to join this community, Andy and DevOps are there as well. So I mean, they pretty much carry this thing. So I'm just there for altcoins. So, but yeah, we caught a beautiful trade yesterday. And then also, there was a nice little long as well yesterday. I mean, have a look at Andy. Andy ripped it yesterday. Beautiful long. So yeah, make sure you guys. I mean, we've been printing recently, so make sure you guys do join that. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at for the day. XRP, we also caught a beautiful long on XRP. Have a look at this. I mean, we literally up like 10% on the trade. So like if you have a 20x leverage, that's 200%. So we entered at around about 2.26, literally on this breakout here, and it's absolutely ripped. So yeah, it's not like it's a community. If you guys want to just get involved, take some trades with us, it's, and especially in this market, it's actually crazy. Like if we carry on pumping, these trade setups are going to be insane, right? We're going to make some lekker cash, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days. So yeah, we'll see. But the next setup that I was looking at was the Pepe one. So I'm still waiting for this. So essentially, have a look at the 15. I want to see price break this trend over here. You can see it's also converging. I mean, this would be the breakout for the long as well. But yeah, if price breaks down here, then I want to see price form like a double bottom into the zone, and then we look for the longs back up to the highs. All right. So those are the two setups. I mean, I've been looking at some other trades today, but overall, I mean, everything's kind of pumped. But not that much. I mean, we've seen way more pump than this, right? So I think we getting there, right? Altcoins are finally like waking up, which is definitely something we haven't had in the past couple of weeks, right? I mean, altcoins have done nothing, absolutely nothing in the past couple of weeks. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens today. Another thing that I like to do that I like to look at is USDT dominance, guys. So USDT dominance pretty much shows you the inverse of what's happening with crypto, right? So think about it. When you have USDT, right, and you rotating it into Bitcoin, what's that going to do to the value of Bitcoin, right? The value of Bitcoin is going to go higher, and the USDT value is going to go lower, right, in terms of market cap, right? So when people and institutions rotate their USDT into crypto, USDT tends to go down, right? So you can see we had a massive dump yesterday, and then that obviously resonates with the pump on crypto, right? So I use USDT dominance pretty much in correlation to my trading style, right? So like if I'm looking for longs, I'll wait for USDT dominance to hit it's like basically trading gold and the dollar, right? So if you guys know anything about forex trading, you can kind of trade gold versus the dollar and like mark out key levels and then trade pretty much against each other. So it's the same type of thing for USDT dominance. So for me, we broke this massive downtrend. So that was the first indication. Like yesterday when I saw this, I was like, okay, it's the bulls. This is why I got into that long for Solana. It was literally the reason why I got into the long for Solana, because what time was that actually? Let me actually put my time. So I'm in South Africa right now. Sorry, I can't even Pretoria. I'm in Cape Town, but there's only has Pretoria there. So what time was this? So we had the break at around about 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? What time did I post the setup? I think it was pretty much similar time. What time was it? So the break was actually at 10. And then we waited for the retest. So 10 o'clock, so I posted at like 12. So you see how we can use USDT dominance in correlation, right? Because when this breaking trend, a lot of coins will start to break upward trends, right? And vice versa, right? So, you shouldn't just trade it blindly with USDT dominance, because some altcoins just won't move. But you just use it in correlation. It works better with Bitcoin, to be honest, because Bitcoin has more market share. But it's something to look at. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that right now we got to push down. We are trading below support over here. Okay, we're trading below support. There is a potential for USDT dominance to come back to this value area low, which means crypto could potentially pump from here. We have retested this level, which is showing us a bit of strength. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to just enter longs blindly right now, but it's showing us that, you know, USDT dominance potentially does want to come down. So what you want to do is you want to go to the lower time frames, and you'll see. I don't like to look at this. So what you want to see is when you see price like this, when it's grabbing liquidity, you want to actually start seeing price close below like the previous low, right? Because right now it's forming a bit of a triangle thing. If you look at the 15, yeah, I mean, have a look at this. So just watch out for this. Let me just remove all the brushes. Yeah, so essentially what you want to see is you want to see price take out this wick first of all, and then you want to see, you know, if you're in a long right now, or if you're looking for longs, what you don't want to see is price get acceptance above like this previous level here. Okay, so you want to see price just continue trading below here, go sideways, then we break below, and then, you know, your longs can print, right? But if we start breaking above here, then we can look for potential shorts as well. So the nice thing about trading is we can trade both ways. But the problem is, you know, when we are in such bullish structure, you'll have more opportunity to get moves to the upside. But just watch out USDT dominance, guys. It's literally one of my favorite pairs in terms of like when I use it for trading, in terms of like correlation. So yeah, make sure you guys do check that out. It's one of the easiest tools to use as well. Right, so let's go over a few more coins, and then if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I'll probably just end the live stream very soon, yeah, because nothing's really happening right now. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys for joining. I can see a few of you guys have joined for a while, so I do appreciate it. I will be going live here, you know, consecutively every week, potentially maybe tomorrow as well, because I do want to start pushing out this channel a lot more for the algorithm and stuff like that, and to start like getting more involved, right? Because I do trade live, and like I think a lot of people do like that. So I'll literally enter the trade with you guys, and then we'll watch the trade play out. That's like what my goal is, and I've been doing that for a long time. I used to have my own channel as well. I did it on there. I used to have my own community and all that. So I do enjoy trading live stream as well. So if you guys do want to join like trading with me live, and you can literally learn from how I'm trading, right? And I'll literally tell you exactly why I'm taking the trade, you know, the entries, the exits, everything like that. So if that's something that interests you, I will be doing that. Make sure you guys do subscribe to this channel, because this is not a dormant account anymore. We're going to be printing off this channel, so make sure you guys do stay involved. So I can see we do have a few likes as well. I'll give it a like as well. But yeah, I do appreciate all you guys for joining today. It's great to see that some of you guys are here, and yeah. All right, let's have a look at one more coin, and then we'll end the stream here. We'll end the stream. Oh yeah, so this is the setup that I wanted to speak about. So it's Kronos. I think if you guys weren't here in the beginning, you wouldn't have seen the setup. But essentially, I'm waiting for price to break out here. It's forming a huge triangle pattern over here. You know, potentially wait for it, right? That's what I'd wait for. So just wait for price to break out of this level. I will be obviously posting this trade in the easy setups. So if you guys are in this in the community, make sure you guys do check this today. Hopefully we do get a trade today. We should get out of this apex. So it should be quite a basic trade. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for watching. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you guys. I'm not too sure when I'll go live next, but make sure you guys do subscribe. It will be definitely next week. I'm just thinking if I should go live tomorrow or not, depending on let's just see what price action gives today. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and yeah, make sure you guys do stay involved.